and happy Mental Push-Up Monday, baby. We here, and check it out, we switching it up a little bit. We out here at Shelby Farms Park putting in these mental push-ups. But the title of today's message is, ooh, I just ain't handle it. Overcoming fear. This message was inspired because this week I've had to have a few courageous conversations. And one thing that I continuously have to do my mental push-ups on is conflict. It's a challenge for you, girl, you know? And so the big takeaway for me, I literally realized this morning, is that the reason that sometimes I don't move is because I'm afraid. And if we are human at all, I heard this a couple weeks when I was listening to a podcast, fear is a part of life. Like, it's something we're always going to experience. And they said the only people that don't experience fear are sociopaths because it's part of the human experience. And so when I'm afraid, I do nothing. And so I literally took away today when I was sitting in my car, I said to myself, wait a minute. I have convinced myself that I can't do something because I have told myself that I cannot handle the consequences, nor can I handle the reactions, nor can I handle the emotions that I feel within myself. But truly, 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 all of us have the capacity and the capabilities to overcome fear. It is a part of the human experience. So I had a couple thoughts around overcoming fear, because even though we may think sometimes that we cannot handle whatever life circumstances that show up in front of us or any challenges that we face, that we can absolutely 100% unequivocally handle it. So check it out. So the first thing that came up for me, I had to own and acknowledge the fear that I was having inside. So if we go back to awareness and a vulnerability, who wants to say, darn it, sometimes I'm freaking scared, you know? And I think we almost have to give ourselves permission to say, hey, I am scared. And, you know, I might be scared of conflict, but hey, you might be afraid of the dark. And that's okay too. Whatever we're afraid of, we got to acknowledge that thing first, because if we go back to awareness, is that we can't repair what we're not aware of. So I think the second thing for me was that I had to tell myself that I can handle it. Whatever obstacle shows up, if I'm afraid, I can handle the reaction, the consequences. I can absolutely handle it. And that to me really speaks to the conversation that we have within ourselves. Because remember, our life is a direct reflection of the thinking that we're having. And so if I'm telling myself that I can't handle it, which I was, that in the face of battle, in the face of conflict, in the face of any challenge that shows up, I'm just going to shrink and fall back and not do what I need to do, because I'm telling myself that, oh my God, I can't handle it. I'm too scared. I don't know. I can't do it, you know? And so I think that when we change that conversation and we have ourselves, and just tell yourself, whatever challenge shows up this week, I challenge you to say, when you get afraid or you say, man, this is too much, I don't know what I'm going to do, I challenge you to just simply say this one phrase right here. Whatever shows up, I can handle it. So I think the last thing that I'd like to say about this is that it's going to be uncomfortable anyway. Why not grow and gain something in the process? So when we're afraid, when we're feeling uncomfortable emotions, when we're facing challenges, it's going to be uncomfortable, right? It's still uncomfortable. It does not feel great. I mean, wouldn't life be so wonderful if it was always copacetic and easy? But it's also going to be uncomfortable when we move beyond that fear. When we're doing that hard thing, when we're doing something that maybe we normally don't do, or moving beyond that, it's going to be uncomfortable too. But this is the thing. When we sit in comfort and what is always easy for us, or maybe we don't do that hard thing or move beyond that fear, then I know for me is I overthink. And that problem gets bigger and bigger and bigger because I'm not doing anything about it. But when we move beyond that fear, we grow. That's where the gold is. That's where it is. I was looking at one of my trainings for this program that I'm in, and they just had this really great piece about embracing challenge. So instead of us running from it, That's where the growth is. That's where we become that next level of who we are. That's when we start creating the type of life that we want, when we move beyond that fear, that uncomfortability, and those things. Because it's uncomfortable anyway. We might as well gain something in the process. So let's wrap this thing up in a nice little bow. Just to recap, number one, own and acknowledge that fear, it is a part of the human experience. And once we identify what it is, then we can do something about it. And then secondly, let's change that inner conversation that we're having within ourselves. Because sometimes we say, oh, I can't handle it, it's too much. Yeah, we can absolutely handle it. It's not easy. Simple stuff, but it's not easy. But we can absolutely, unequivocally handle it. You are strong, and that's when we flex that mental muscle again. And lastly, it's uncomfortable whether I stay in my fear or I move beyond it. However, when I move beyond the fear, that's when I gain, that's when I grow, that's when, again, I flex my mental muscles because I get stronger. I level up. And so this is so key to me, because this is what I recognize this week, is that once you identify the source or the reason, the why behind the what, your behaviors, your actions, that's when things start to change. Because I recognize this week that the reason that I have continued to stay stuck and engage in situations that maybe are not for my best interest, or maybe I'm not moving beyond to the next level and pushing myself in certain areas, is because I've told myself that I cannot handle it. I'm too afraid. What will happen if I do this, that, and the other? But now that I've made this shift here and I've told myself that I can handle it, and it is not going to be perfect, but it's so much beauty when we get to the source. Because again, I was having a conversation today about co-creating your reality. And so I'm the source of this. This is no one else. This is me. And so it has empowered me to say, wait a minute, I can do something about this. I can handle it. And so just changing it in a conversation is powerful stuff. It's powerful stuff. So the last part of the vlog, this is new. Shout out to the homie Tamika. One time we were doing this professional development. This is one of my coworkers. And so this is what she always used to say to me. She was like, okay, yeah, you got this information, but now what? Now what? What you gonna do now? And so I definitely want it to be something where we can start taking some action steps toward the things that we want to do. And this is also for me too, because I'm really trying to push myself beyond information. So these are action steps. The first thing, I want us to identify, what is it that I'm maybe afraid of? Where am I staying stuck? Where am I maybe being a tad bit comfortable? And then second part of that is, how can I push myself beyond that? What is one small baby step that I'm going to take this week to push myself beyond that? So here are my commitments. As I said, conflict is not my ish, and I like to hide. So I'm going to push myself 4 out of 7 times this week. I'm going to initiate conversations about something that's my truth. I'm going to initiate 4 out of 7 days. I'm going to do that. So that's my commitment, small baby step to move beyond what's safe and comfortable for me. So what are yours? What are the things that you want to do this week? And so again, thank you again for checking out Mental Push-Up Mondays. Get out here this week. Do those mental push-ups. Baby, be bold, be brave, be you, because you are beautiful. Much love, light, and I am